Hey guys, Scully here. So I've been, a friend wanted me to do or make him an AP or a Winchester or a Dialock lid 50 round hopper mod because he's gonna start getting to pump. At least try to get into it, and he really liked this. So we got him an APP hopper. I've already gone to the lengths of cutting off. Originally, this just has the plastic lid that just flips up, but no one likes flip up lids. So, just took the hopper, cut off. There's a tab right here. Had to cut that off. Just took a knife, just to speed up time. So really, all of the supplies you need would be a hopper, a Dialock lid. I've already cut off the lid. These lids do just slide off. Off the Dialock, I'll get to the part that you need to cut off. Epoxy, I recommend 2 parts. It's a stronger bond. This one has a 5-minute set time. Depending on if you're slower, if you're new at this, get something that's slower setting so you have time to figure out and whatnot. I've kind of really good with my hands, so I can do it fast. If you have a hacksaw, use a hacksaw, but all my tools are at my dad's house, so I just used a bread knife. Either a mini chef's knife or a paring knife. Sharper the better. I do not take any responsibility if you cut yourself with this. That's on your own fault, so deal with it. And a tin snip. So, like I said, I cut there's a little notch that the lid flapped on. Scuffed it with a piece of sandpaper. The more you scuff it, the better. You just want it so you can see it, that it's all scuffed up. After you're done, actually to scuff this a little bit better. After you're done, wash it, degrease it. You want, if this came from the factory, sometimes there's oils that they have to release the plastic with. Gets on there. If that gets in between the epoxy, you're not going to create a good bond. The Dialock lid, be careful, this does get sharp. It's a very hard plastic and it will cut you. But what you want to do is, I've already trimmed this some more, but what you want to do is there's that lip where this top part, this way, kind of sits on. You want to cut below that line. With my Winchester, I didn't have to, I didn't use this at all. I just glued it right to the hopper because the Winchester was, the mouth of it was so wide. With the APP hopper, it was a little bit smaller. So it actually worked out pretty well. But what you have to do is, you can see that I had to take a knife and trim. There's like a little lip. That's what would latch into the lid. It did go a little bit in far here, but that's fine because that's going to be inside the hopper and you're not even going to see it. I might even just take out this lip, not deal with it, but I'm just going to leave it for now. And so right now, because if you put this lid on here and just throw it on there, it's very loose. But the thing is with these dies, this tab right here that opens and closes, sorry for the light, that tab that opens and closes the lid, if you don't have anything that's guiding that or holding it in place, it'll pop out and your lid won't open. It'll just slide out. So this actually worked out very well, to the fact that when I trimmed this edge, I had to trim the edge because this was too small, but I trimmed it and it fits perfect. You couldn't ask any better. And then that lip on the inside makes it so, it holds it there. And then I'm not going to slip this over, I will warn you. If you cut it this thin, and put this on there and shove it on there, it's going to be a very pain in the butt to get off. It's a very tight fit. But as you can see, so now, you know, it'll just be there and it'll guide it. I'm still going to glue this piece on here just so it's firm. But I mean, right now, I mean, you could almost not, you don't even have to glue it if you don't want to. But I want, you know, if I'm making a solid product for my teammate, I don't want him to have to deal with this if he, you know, bumps into a tree or trips and fall. But I will scuff the inside of this with my 220 grit sandpaper. You don't want to see this at all. You don't want any shiny at all. You want dull. I know you're not going to be able to see it, so I'm not even going to show on the camera. But I mean, you wanna go at it. Put some elbow grease into it. I mean, you are going to make a solid product that's going to take a beating. I mean, you're going to bang it into cars. You're going to bang it into trees. You're going to be running through tree branches. I mean, you want a good solid adhesion between the sandpaper, or the part where you scuff, and the epoxy. So when you're actually doing is when you're scuffing, you're not actually making it, how do I put it? You know, it just helps with adhesion. What you're actually doing is you're actually creating more surface area. I know that sounds really weird, but if you actually put it in under a microscope, so think of this as just, this hasn't been sanded. So when you apply the epoxy, you know, you don't have very much surface area. It's just, it's smooth, it's flat. You know, so there's not going to be very much there. But if you were to take in sandpaper and see, now you have all these ridges, well, now the epoxy has more to grab and hold on to compared to, you know, a flat surface. So that's why when people always recommend to scuff stuff, or that's why you scuff or sandpaper. You know what I'm talking about. So let's just kind of go at it. Make sure we get, you know, really, really good. You know, even get like maybe get down here too, because I might because you want to put like a bead, you know, on the outside to keep it in there. And who cares? No one's gonna see this. You know, this isn't gonna be the pretty part of the gun, or you know, on the outside. If you want to do it, you could paint it, but who really cares? You'll be hiding behind a bunker. I'm just kidding. So I'm just gonna go to my sink and wash this off really quick. If you guys are wondering what wax and grease remover I use Simple Green. It's all-purpose cleaner, non-toxic, biodegradable, so it's better for the environment. Yay, go environment. It really works very well. I've used it. People that work on cars and degrease stuff, or, you know, use degreaser on the body or the engine bay because it's just, you know, something blew, or, you know, head gaskets are leaking, and there's just oil everywhere. That's what they use. Alright, so this is all scuffed. As you can see, it's not clear anymore. Do a test fit. Everything looks good. I am going to let this piece dry because you don't want any water. I also have to talk to him and see if he wants, depending on where you want the hopper, the actual release lid, if you want it over here. I put it here because when you fill it, you have to tip it up a little bit, you know, or you can fill it up with your gun straight, but I kind of fill it like this so it goes straight down. So I don't know if he wants it there, if he wants it off to the side. So I'm going to end this video. The next portion of it, I'm gonna do the actual gluing and just show you what to do. I mean, it's not that hard. I got 5 minutes to do it. So, thanks for watching the first part, and I'll be back with the second part. Okay guys, now for the gluing part. Hopefully I can edit this video together so it's not two separate videos. I don't have the greatest video editing program. So I've got everything scuffed. I did actually trim out this edge. It seems to have a better, with that edge, it wasn't a very smooth transition, so there might have been bounces when you're filling in paint, or pouring paint in. So I did take that out, and it really hasn't, reduced the structural integrity of the hopper itself. So as you can see, it's a perfect line. Oh, hold on, there we go. It's a perfect line. You always want to test fit. Test it, double test it, take it off, put it back on, make sure everything fits, works, because you only have one shot at this. Again, like with the other one, like I said, the hopper was bigger than the lid, and then I had to put the spacer in with the Winchester. So the Winchester's a little bit funkier. It still comes out as well, but I actually like the APP hopper the way the die lock lid was able just to fit right over it. So I'm jelly. Alright, so we won't need to glue this on anymore. So what you want to do is you want to take your epoxy, and remember, you've got one shot at this. Usually it'll come up with a little mixing syringe. These things only last once, so usually they come with 2. This was used with my other stuff. Just simply push it on there and turn it, and it locks in. Always have something below. You want this stuff getting on your table. I just need to align this to make sure. Because there is a slit that the tab has to go on. Okay. And usually, like, I just put it down here again because it's quick access with depending on which hand you have. So. Over to the left just a little bit more. Okay. I think that should be good. You can maneuver it a little bit more. So then, oh, I forgot my Sharpie. What you want to do is you want to take a black Sharpie and just put a little mark here, and then put a mark here. And what that does is just the lining up portion, because you can get on there and then find out, oh, it's not in the right position, and then your tab's all the way over there. So it's just like a little safety feature that I incorporated. So since everything's been drying, I'm just going to do a small wipe again, make sure you get all the dust off, make sure everything's scuffed really good. Yep, scuffed really good, and we're going to glue it. Alright, so this is 2-part epoxy, and that's really tough. Really tough. There it goes. just some air bubbles in there. Alright, then usually what I do is I let a little bit of it just kind of come out just to make sure everything's mixed. And then I'm just going to apply a small bead of it on the hopper. Make sure to get it closest to the rim, because when you do put the lid on, it's going to push it down. Smooth it around a little bit. Make sure you get full coverage. And you kind of want to build a little of a bead up. You don't want it completely flat. And put a little bit on the inside, just a little bit. Oh, by the way, make sure you use good ventilation. This stuff does stink. And someone was just screaming bloody murder outside. That's just normal here in West St. Paul. No, not really, just kidding. Smooth that out, set that aside. This will not be usable after you're done. Alright, so time to put it on. The lines will disappear after you put some of the glue on. Give it a little turn back and forth, line up the lines, push the lid on. Take your finger, just smooth it out. This is just for looks. Clean off my finger. You could leave the bead on there, but I think when you do this, it just looks professionally done. Go on the inside just a little bit. Everything looks good on the inside. Smooth that out. Alright. Now, remember, I think this stuff takes 24 hours to dry. I recommend just letting 24 hours anyways. It's just a normal curing process that I recommend anyways. I wouldn't recommend baking it or heating it. I don't even think it even recommends doing that. You could use a heat gun, but in the chemical world, if it's the slower curing it goes, the better bond it has. Usually faster curing stuff doesn't have a really good bond that I was taught in auto body. So, and then should just come off. There we go. Put the cap back on, save this for later if anything else breaks, paintball related. Wrap it up, toss it away. Fingers will be a little bit sticky, so, but here's just a little closer up view. Sorry about the light. I smoothed it out. Probably won't get a good light on the inside, but you can see it just smoothed it out a little bit more, so I got a little bit more coverage on the inside. And then that's it. I'll have a finished picture of it when I'm done. Thanks, guys.